Committee. Clerk.
Private members' business, notice number 3, the member for Solomon to move motion relating to the Australian Defence Force.
The Honourable Member for Solomon.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. I move the motion relating to the Australian Defence Force in the terms in which it appears on the notice paper.
The Honourable Member for Solomon.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. And as I've said many times in this place, the men and women of the Australian Defence Force make incredible sacrifices in the interests of our country. Members of the Royal Navy, Royal Army and the Royal Australian Air Force willingly take on the risks and burdens that no other employee in any other workforce sector would have ever have to deal with. Frequent relocations, long periods away from home, physical, gruelling work and, of course, the risks that come with combat operations. Because they give so much for Australia, because they sign up, they know that they may be called upon to put their lives on the line. We owe them a duty. A big part of that duty is making sure that we have the tools and equipment that they need to do the job. In the last term of government, the Labor Party spectacularly failed in this area, treating defence as a piggy bank that they could break open again to cover up their general economic mismanagement. They cut $16 billion from the portfolio, sending defence spending to its lowest level since 1938. As a direct consequence of that, 119 defence projects were delayed, 43 were reduced and 8 were cancelled completely. So I'm pleased to note that since the coalition government came to office in 2013, the men and women of the Defence Force are once again getting the equipment they need to do their jobs. $7.2 billion is being invested in defence over the 2015-16 period. This is great news for our Defence Force. The coalition government is committed to a continuous shipbuilding program and the building of future frigates in Australia. This is in contrast to the Labor Party, who sat on their hands and did nothing for 4 years after a new submarine project was listed in the 2009 Defence White Paper. The coalition government has brought forward the future frigate projects by 3 years and the offshore patrol vessels by 2 years. These two measures alone will sustain around 1,000 jobs in the short term and guarantee around 2,500 shipbuilding jobs over the longer term. Madam Speaker, not only is this good news for our Navy, providing them with the state-of-the-art vessels that they need when they need it, this is good for our economy. By committing to a continuous build process, we have provided investment surety to investors and workers in our national shipbuilding industry. And it's worth noting, Madam Speaker, that the last time a Labor government commissioned a major naval vessel in Australian shipyard, the Berlin Wall was still standing in Germany. So this is proof that only under a coalition government do our ADF capabilities prosper. Australian defence capabilities are being upgraded by this government. The coalition government announced earlier this year the acquisition of an additional 2 Boeing C-17A Globemaster aircrafts, taking the total size of that fleet from 6 to 8. Now, this is important, Madam Speaker, because the C-17s are being known for their assistance in Operation Queensland Flood Assist, but also in Operation Christchurch Assist and in the Operation Bring Them Home, that's just to name a few. Other capabilities that the coalition government has invested in include 2 additional KC-3030As, multi-role tanker transport aircrafts, an additional 8 Joint Strike Fighter aircraft which are due for delivery in 2018. And also, Madam Deputy Speaker, 8 P-8A Poseidon maritime surveillance equipment, and as well as the acquisition of the highly capable Triton unmanned aerial vehicle. So on land, and most recently, Madam Speaker, Minister Turnbull, along with Defence Minister Payne, announced a $1.3 billion agreement for 1,100 locally built Hawkey-protected vehicles to be manufactured in Bendigo, and I know the member for Bendigo was here. This long-term investment further helps secure the important industry in Australia. Just as our soldiers, sailors and airmen will look after this equipment, this government is looking after our defence personnel. And I'm proud to stand here as a member of the coalition government, which is delivering for our nation and for the men and women of our armed forces. And Madam Deputy Speaker, I know that you are also a very strong advocate for our Defence Force, and your son is a member of the Defence Force. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Member for Solomon. The question is that the motion be agreed to.
You just need to get a seconder.
Oh, sorry. Could I have a seconder for the motion, which was me?
I can't second this one.
Thank you, Member for Cowan.